I'm Chris, I'm 28 and I work as a business analyst. Although I've been invested with Fidelity for several years now, I'm still at the early stage of my investment journey. My main focus for the long term is growing a pension. For the short term, like many people my age, my goal is to save for a house deposit. I know I need to save, and I want to, and I'm clear about what I want to save for, but it's deciding what to invest in I find most difficult. I'm off to meet the experts at Fidelity to find out how they put my money to work and how they can help me make some smarter investment decisions. So Tom, I do all my investing online, but there's so much choice it's really overwhelming. What can you tell me to help narrow those choices down?
Well, I'm the investment director here at Fidelity Personal Investing. It's my job to oversee the funds and other investments that personal investors like you make. And we've got about 3,000 funds on the platform here. So obviously that's far too many to make a sensible choice from. And because of that, we've come up with a shorter list called the Select 50.
So what is the Select 50?
So this is a narrower list of funds which our fund selection experts here really rate.
But how do they narrow that choice down?
Well, it's all about research. So we have a large team of analysts who spend their days looking at funds, looking at sectors and geographies in order to narrow down that list to just 50 funds. I'll tell you what, why don't we go and meet one of the analysts?
Okay, great.
So Alice, I was talking to Chris about the team of analysts that put together the Select 50.
Yes, I'm one of those analysts who choose funds for our Select 50. I specialise in picking funds that can invest right across the world.
But there's so many funds out there. How do you narrow that list down to just 50?
So at Fidelity, we have access to a range of systems, research and analysis, all of which helps us to narrow down that vast range of funds available to a more manageable number to the end investor.
But then what do you look for in a fund?
Essentially what we're looking for is a safe pair of hands for the long term. We want to find the managers who are very skillful in what they do. We do this through a range of methods, including rigorous desk-based analysis, like crunching those numbers, but also we'll actually go and meet the fund managers themselves, have face-to-face meetings, so we can really assess how consistent they're being in their process.
Do you think we might go and meet one of those managers, Alice?
Yes, definitely. So James, I've been speaking to Chris about manager skill and how we meet fund managers, so I thought I'd bring her along to meet you.
Hi Chris, and welcome to Rathbones. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what Rathbones is. We're a wealth management business in London. I've been here for almost 20 years, but actually this business was founded in 1742, and so we have a long history of pedigree in the investment industry.
Well, thanks for having me. Alice and Tom have been talking to me about the Fidelity Select 50 list. Your fund is on that list. Could you tell me how your fund would stand out from the rest of them?
Well, I'm not allowed to give you personal financial advice, but I can tell you about how I run this fund and the history of it. I started running this fund in 2003, and the company really allowed me to shape this fund, the style of the fund, around what I thought I was good at as a fund manager, and I think that's a great starting point for any investor. This is a global stock picking fund. I can invest anywhere around the world looking for the best ideas. I'm looking for growth companies, companies that are doing something a little bit different, shaking up their industry, growing quickly but sustainably.
One of the things investors like Chris would like to know about is how do you mitigate risks in uncertain times?
Well, I think it's important to remember it's impossible to entirely mitigate risks. The stock market can be a risky place to invest. Usually fund managers talk about risks being mitigated over long-term investment horizons. So we like to tell people to invest for a minimum of 5 years in the stock market. In addition to that, I add in my own risk management techniques into the portfolio. I have about 25% of this fund in more defensive companies, companies less closely linked to the economic cycle. I call them weatherproof investments, and I hope they will give the fund a bit of a buffer during more difficult times.
Well, it's been great to pick the brains of the fund managers. I know I need to save, and I want to invest wisely. And now I can see the Select 50 is a great way to start investing in funds. They are chosen by experts and they give me access to the best managers. I feel much more confident now and a lot less daunted.